We would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land. We pay our deep respects to elders past, present and emerging, and to any elders who have joined us today. Welcome to our comfy home in Nillumbik, in the outer northeastern suburbs of Melbourne. We moved into the house just before Australia Day 2019, during that record heatwave. This is what the house looked like then, and we love the character of its mid-1980s style. The front of the house faces northeast, and in those first few days we resorted to nailing old doona covers up outside the windows to keep the sun out. It was so hot. You can see there are no eaves at the front or back. The back of the house faces southwest, and we were lucky to have trees providing some shade. However, it wasn't long before winter arrived, and we discovered how cold the house could be as well. We loved living here, but decided we needed to renovate to make sure the house was more comfortable, otherwise we wouldn't enjoy our time in it. We spent the next 5 years saving our pennies and watching how our house interacted with the sun in summer and winter and where the water flowed, so that we could make the most of our renovation. The house is built out of concrete blocks, and we had bagged walls inside and out. We were able to lift off a bit of tin from the roof and discover that we only had a bit of builder's blanket as insulation, which is about R1.5, and a very small cavity that would not allow more insulation to be put in. In addition, we had 3 massive permanently vented skylights in the roof, no exhaust fans in the bathrooms, and a serious condensation problem with the windows. The heating was mainly from a wood heater that was at the back of the house. We also had an old air conditioner, but it was so loud you couldn't be in the room when it was on, and it cost a fortune to run. We were paying about $1,200 a year for firewood and another $1,600 for electricity, and we don't have any gas out here. In 2011, we replaced our electric storage hot water system with a solar unit boosted by electricity. That saved us about $200 a year, and we did some DIY draft proofing on the doors and windows. So here you can see the original and the new house plans. We decided we didn't really need a lot more space, but what we did need was to use the house differently, and we needed to make it much more resistant to extreme weather. We decided to keep walls and plumbing where they were, but we moved the living area to the back of the house where bedroom 3 was, put a 2-metre extension on the back and eaves, and made the old lounge dining area into our master bedroom, sealing up the stairs into the kitchen. A few of our biggest challenges were working out how to insulate a house with concrete block walls and a flat roof. Quite common in this area. We also knew we wanted to put on solar electricity, but found that half our roof was shaded by the house next door in winter. The other challenge was our windows. Some of these had been exposed to water over the years and weren't in great condition. We decided to replace most of them with double glazing, and I'll talk about how we resolved these in a sec. This is the front of the house, just as we got started. One of the first things we did was to seal up the stairs between the old lounge and the kitchen. Then we worked on the 2 front rooms, giving them the new windows and cosmetic updates so that we could live in that part of the house when the major part of the renovation started. So getting back to insulation, we had no idea if our walls even had a cavity or if they were one thick block until we started taking the windows out. We didn't want to change the exterior look of the house, so we decided on a product from Kingspan called Cooltherm K17. This is a substance called polyisocyanurate, or PIR rigid board, that comes attached to plasterboard, and you can use adhesive to stick it straight onto the concrete blocks or any other masonry surface. That way we ended up with all our external walls insulated and with a smooth plaster finish. We didn't put this on any of the internal walls, so we still have the bagged look and a lot of the thermal mass inside. Insulating the walls has made a huge difference to our comfort. We used to sit and feel the heat being sucked out of our bodies, but now we are really comfortable even when we're sitting right next to an exterior wall. In the roof we used a similar product without the plasterboard attached. We replaced the old roof and increased the height of the rafters. Even so, we still had limited space for insulation. PIR board was a good solution because it gives a better R value compared to glass wool and polyester bats of the same size. We topped it up with polyester in the middle of the house where we could fit it in. Here are a few photos of the work in full swing. Choosing our windows was another thing we wanted to get right. Windows are expensive. It's actually the frame that's expensive. So you want them to look good, do the job they need to do, and last a long time. We have a bushfire attack level rating of 29 out here. That means you have to have high spec windows. Frames need to be fire resistant, glass needs to be toughened, and every openable window needs a metal screen. We were really lucky using local tradies. Our builders knew everyone around here and most of our work was done by locals, including these beautiful window frames. We knew we wanted to have timber frames, but to meet the BAL requirements we had to choose a particular hardwood or an alternative solution. At the back of the house we have 2 spotted gum windows and a glass door. We've oiled these rather than paint them because the timber's so beautiful. The other frames are Vic Ash and are painted with a fire retardant paint, which you can see on the right. The paint ended up being so expensive I'm not sure whether we saved any money doing it that way. We had the glass made to measure once the frames were installed. We had to live without glass for a couple of weeks. It was bearable until the rat arrived. The windows are all sliding and they were designed so that the sliding panel can open all the way, so you only see one frame. The screens have the same frame profile as well. You can see here how they look when they're closed and open. Pretty much the same. They're also really effective at cooling the house down at night or when a cool change comes through, which is often the case in Melbourne. Here's the most expensive solar frame in Australia. Since we couldn't fit the panels on the house, we put them on our new carport. It's the last thing we did, but combined with the renovation and efficient appliances, our total energy bill is now $360 a year. And we have many days in winter where we don't need to run the heating for hours, even though we have no north-facing windows. We used the residential efficiency scorecard to rate the house before and after the renovations. The scorecard rating shows the relative cost to run fixed appliances in the house. Plus it gives efficiency ratings for each of those fixed appliances and tells you how comfortable your house will be in hot and cold weather without using heating or cooling. You can see the before rating, which already included the solar hot water and compact fluorescent lighting. It was pretty poor. Now we actually generate more electricity than we use, and our hot and cold weather ratings have improved from 1 square to 3 and 4 squares respectively. It also has options for upgrade which you can discuss with the assessor. We're not quite finished yet. We still have some landscaping to do and we'll be putting on some battery storage in early next year. We're really comfortable here now and the house is so easy to live in. We've installed the most efficient appliances we could, including an induction cooktop which I love cooking on and a convection microwave which I really need to use more. We have a regular oven as well. The only heating we use in the house now is the smallest model of the Daikin US7 reverse cycle air conditioner. It was the first 7-star model on the market and can also bring in fresh air, humidify and dehumidify, sense where you are in the room and clean itself. It doesn't make coffee. It easily heats and cools the 70 square metre living area because it's so well insulated.